Welcome to tonight's Skywatch, deep in the dark skies of the mysterious valley, where we will show you that we can detect UFOs where no one else is looking. We are doing our double camera Skywatch tonight from the home of Snippy's Bones, the world-famous UFO Watchtower in the San Luis Valley of Colorado. We are here this weekend to attend the Snippy Conference held here every year. We came a day early to do a Skywatch with two cameras set 0.4 miles apart to showcase the two camera experiments that we think will prove that there are exotic craft flying around us in our skies right now. We're currently focusing on one of my favorite constellations, Cassiopeia, the big W in the sky. We have two cameras set up, both aimed at Cassiopeia and synced with a device that John put together that reads the satellites for atomic time. Each camera has its own device, and these devices are synced with each other. We are laying both videos over each other to prove how in sync they are and what we can tell about the objects flying over us tonight. Back to the Skywatch. Here comes a plane, the perfect way to demonstrate parallactic shift. This is why we go to great lengths to synchronize the cameras. Remember I said that one of the videos is at 50% opacity, meaning we can see it, but it will be fainter than the one under it. That way we can tell which image of the plane belongs to which camera's video for precise measuring. Two distinct camera angles give us the information to measure distance, size, and speed. In other words, to get some real answers about the exotic craft flying in our airspace. Notice in the video as we zoom in the synchronization with the plane's lights. Also notice the satellite going from right to left below the planes is one single light. As we said, both cameras picked it up, but it was so far away that there was no noticeable shift against the backdrop of the stars. Apps like Flight Radar 24 help us verify our results with actual airline data. This plane was Southwest Flight 359 en route from Phoenix to Milwaukee, and it was flying here at approximately 9:32 p.m. local time. Two cameras and an object form a triangle. Since we know how far apart the cameras are, we can measure the angle between the cameras and the object. We can solve for the distance using triangle math. Using our triangulation worksheet and using 3 stars and the pinpoint of light that is the plane from the two cameras, we calculated the plane at 36,004 feet. Flight Radar 24 said it was flying at an altitude of 39,000 feet. That is a rough plus or minus error margin of about 8%, so we feel pretty good about that, especially since we were only 0.4 miles apart. The farther apart the cameras are, the more dramatic and accurate we'll be able to get the parallactic shift and the calculations. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because we'll be doing lots more videos where we hope to catch something in the no-fly zone. There are many more satellites to see here tonight, and an interesting flash that's quite peculiar. We'll highlight these to help you see them. Back to the Skywatch. This satellite is nice and bright, and even with the two cameras, it's just a pinpoint of light. That means it's behaving like a normal satellite and far enough away that there is no parallactic shift. It's quite pretty as it crosses Cassiopeia tonight. So why does UFO-Track go out to Skywatches like this? Why do we drive to dark sky areas, set up two cameras, and review the footage for anomalies? For many reasons, but one is that we just love to watch the night sky. But two is that we're looking for UFOs where no one else is looking. We have actually identified several very mysterious objects on the camera footage so far. See some of our other videos on UFO-Track to see what we're talking about. Tonight though, we wanted to test the math, so we separated the cameras and focused in on an object, the plane, that we could get independent data to validate our numbers. We got within an 8% accuracy, and that's exciting. If the cameras were twice as far apart, we'd have probably gotten within a 5% accuracy. When we do catch things flying in the sky where nothing should be flying, we want our credibility to have already been established. This is why we need members all across the country willing to be notified if something strange is flying within 50 miles of them. Wouldn't you like to be notified in time to go outside, camera in hand, and know exactly where to look and snap that money shot? We need enough people who want to see for themselves that UFOs exist, who would help us get data on them from multiple locations and multiple cameras and different angles so that we can bring about citizen-led disclosure. To get those notifications, join our Patreon and you can be part of history. Back to the Skywatch. I told you there was a mysterious flash, and here it is. Normally the satellites that flare like this are seen as a dim satellite, then a flash, then it goes away again, but you can normally see the trail. Not this one, it just flashed, just there. It showed on both cameras as a pinpoint of light, so it was high enough to be a satellite. There's not much more to report on it, except that it was anomalous, and it was fun to find. Cassiopeia was in the east, which means that for satellites to still show this late at night, they would have to be so high as to not be in the Earth's shadow. So the satellites here were all very high, which also means pretty slow. You'll see in the Big Dipper video that we did right after this, where we were facing west, that there were so many satellites of all speeds. Super fun. Be sure to check out the playlist, Skywatch Meditations, where I don't just talk over the beautiful sky. We just watch the stars together. It's a great way to relax, or in my case, get my 2-year-old grandson to take a nap. Enjoy. And join us on this adventure as a patron for so many cool perks. And as always, keep looking up.